And because they were also going to give freedom to Zambia, then it was Northern Rhodesia, they wanted him. There was nothing in that time in the city we call today Singapore, an international city. There was nothing there. It was just a patch of sand, just a beach. Fishermen would launch out from there, catch fish, and come at the end of the day. And when they were thinking of giving independence to that part of the world, the rest of the people in that part of the world, which is now modern day Malaysia, they said, we want to have independence, but we want to exclude those. That tribe, give them their own independence. We don't want them to become part of us. And the then colonial government pleaded with them and said to them, why? Why don't you want to take this on board, seeing that you've always been one people? They say that the culture and customs, especially certain cultures to do with hygiene, we don't like it. Even though we've been together with the people from that area, we don't wish for them to become part of a nation, the newborn nation of Malaysia. And so what was done then was that in preparing that part to become independent, the people of, the representatives of then Her Majesty's government took one man called Lee Kuan Yew and brought him to Northern Rhodesia to say, okay, you can develop your part of the world. Come to one African country. We want you to see a typical African country and see how development has come there. Maybe you can model that to your own country. Of all the countries around here, they brought him to Northern Rhodesia. And I quote that in the book that has just been launched, to be launched this morning. And Lee Kuan Yew came, he was taken through then the streets of Lusaka, and he writes, because he took lots of notes. He says, I saw these tree-lined streets. They look like gardens, highways with gardens on them. And he described what we call today State House. He said, I went to the governor's residence. It's a wonderful property with the wild animals that have been brought, around it. It's such a wonderful place to take a walk in and to see. I would like the future territory, where I will be to become like that. In other words, Singapore, the city that you know today as Singapore, was actually born out of an inspiration from Lusaka. This man saw Lusaka, and then he had a dream for this sandy beach. There was nothing there. There was no street, there was no road, there was no highway, there was no skyscraper, there was nothing. But he had a dream, because the others said, we want those people to be on their own. So there was also another place born called Singapore. And if you go to Singapore today, it's just a city-state. They don't even have much territory like we have. They're just a city-state. But in that city, many world corporations have chosen to put their headquarters there. Big banks have got a very significant presence there. Large corporate, companies with a large, capital base around the world. They've got their headquarters in Singapore. Many seafaring liners that transport goods around, they register in Singapore. And when you look at Singapore, 70 years ago, there was nothing there, nothing. The man came to Lusaka and he began to draw ideas from Lusaka of what he wanted Singapore to be. And so, Singapore today is a first-class city. Lusaka is still a third-world city. And the question I ask myself is, what went wrong? How can a man come here and have a big dream and translate it into a powerful dream in Singapore? And then he returned to Lusaka in 1971, the same man. And he says, the city I once admired is no longer the city that gives me inspiration.
If you can't follow, you can't never lead. If you don't run a thing, so you run into the king. Like who I follow, so they follow when they follow me. A real man bows down to authority.
On the real, I'm a man, but I guess that's just my gender. When it comes to manhood,
our sisters, what a tragedy. Travesty, passive in our actions, living absentee. Sad and weak, but asking them to marry me, we went left into death, saying next, what a mess. Beating on my chest and thinking I am strong, go flex. If you gon' take charge for the Lord, then you lead out, being one who serves.